This debate is proudly brought to you by the Department of Economic Development, KwaZulu Natal.
Highlight two issues that are crucial. One is how we facilitate foreign direct investment onto the African continent, and the other is how we improve trade between African countries. Let's start with the first element in terms of foreign direct investment and what we can do to improve the situation.
Well, firstly, I think we need to acknowledge that there are a number of strengths that our economy have in the country, and therefore we need to be able to go out and create partnerships with potential investors who can base themselves on the strength of the South African economy and use that to expand into the African continent and thereby growing the economy of the different parts of the African continent. We're saying, therefore, if we look around at the potential that Africa has, we can actually get a lot of investors who can come in, take advantage of our resources, and therefore use the bases that we've got and grow the technical capacity from within the continent, and then add value on a lot of the commodities that are produced in the country, in the continent, so that we can actually use that to trade and send to the rest of the other world, partners, trading partners. And this is what I think is important, to use the fact that it's a stable economy. The rest of the continent is now very stable, peaceful, and there's got democratic dispensation. It allows us space now to be able to grow the economy and trade more.
Well, on that issue of trading more, we've been speaking about this for years and years, certainly on news desks, as how we can fast-track that trade process between African countries. What is the key to execution on this front?
Well, firstly, I think that we need to start saying that the neighbors must begin to strengthen that linkage, because it's not possible to just talk about trade within African countries without neighbors beginning to strengthen their partnerships, strengthening the logistical and transport links, and also ensuring that the movement between the different countries is easy. And out of that process, once we begin to improve those trade links and begin to go out there and look at what the one country needs and what the one country can provide, and building up trading partnership from that basis, I think that's a start we need to make. We're then saying that in our province we've got the biggest ports, we've got the even the trade ports. We are available to actually use this for the advantage of the rest of the Southern African region.
So, Premier, you believe that KwaZulu Natal can play a key role in developing the African continent. Would that be a fair summation?
It is a fair summation, because if you look at the whole of South Africa, most of the export and import lines are going through this port. But from the center of our country to the rest of the African, Southern African region, a lot of stuff would have moved from there into the same port. And we think that we need to take advantage of existing assets such as these ports, and therefore grow the volumes into the country, into the SADC as well as out of SADC for export purposes.
When do you think people in Rwanda will be able to import goods from Botswana rather than from outside of the African continent?
Well, it's a matter of creating the partnerships. Right now, there's a good relationship amongst all these countries. People are able to fly from one country to the other, which is not the same as what it used to be in the past. In the past, you couldn't even phone from one country to the other without going via Europe. Now we can actually establish those new opportunities that have come up, and this has actually created a lot more good relationship amongst the neighboring countries. When you look at the numbers of people who are in South Africa coming from different parts of Africa, you can see that they would have gone through all of these countries. Now, this movement is actually a precursor to good trading, because then people will know the areas, they know some people there, they know the conditions, so they can move freely, and I think that it's already started to happen.
Finally, coming back to the issue of foreign direct investment, how do you feel about Walmart, Massmart now being given the green light?
Well, we've got to say that we understand all sides and the concern from both sides, but let's say that we are actually going out to woo foreign direct investment, and therefore, as long as certain precautions are taken to protect the local labor, local investors, and therefore a balance, it should be possible to get a balance so that we can still attract investment and still manage to strengthen our local co-investing partners, so that we don't get a sense of the suppression of the local investors. And all of this is a question of give and take and negotiations, and we believe the right route to take is that once the matter has been settled, as the courts have settled, then I think we must just comply and make the things happen.